You know, there was, you and I talked about something the other night. We talked about the night Michael Jackson walked in to 3121
yeah. Oh, my
to see
goodness.
Prince.
That's a night I'll never forget.
Tell all.
So we're in Vegas playing 3121, and celebrities were always coming through. You know, it was so close to Los Angeles, you could just get to Las Vegas. So you never knew who was going to come. The biggest celebrity in the world, it turns into a fan for Prince. So people would always come through to see his show and other performers because of the level of excellence. And after the show, he said, I have somebody I want you to meet. So Maya and Nandy, the twins, and I went backstage. He didn't say who it was. And we were just, coming off stage, and we were kind of still sweaty and not really together. And he says, come on, I want you to meet someone. And we walk into this room, and he kind of moves to the side, and the guy turns around, and it's Michael Jackson. And his hand is extended with a glove on his hand, and he reaches over to my hand, and he was like, really great show. Wow, you can sing. Really great show. And I was like, it blew my mind, because Prince is standing next to me. Michael Jackson is standing in front of me. And just for a moment, I'm like, wow, hello? Yeah, take me now, I'm good.
We had a meeting out at Michael's house at David's. I said, Michael, let's invite him out and try to talk him into this. I envisioned that frankly we were getting in a fight with Ruffalo down to Doom, all this stuff. It's some drama, man, that's all. And then Michael and him coming up to each other. That's what videos are all about, at least some drama, tension and release. And so he comes out and says, Michael, you sit on that side, a 27-seat table there. You sit on that side, let him sit there so he doesn't feel like they're gagging up on him. That's just that. He came in with a big box of stuff he just finished on the Cherry Road directing it. And he had this box of stuff. It was weird, man, because he had some Tootsie Rolls and some cufflinks and stuff like that. A lot of stuff. Michael thought it was voodoo. I'm sorry I didn't keep it,
Why is that?
He said to Camille, he called Michael Camille.
There was never like any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
Oh, not to me, no.
Okay. So I love the story of you, there's all these Prince, I'm sorry. That's the guy you used to be. Mm-hmm. There's all these, the legendary tales of whatever. There's the story of you turning down Bad.
Well, that Wesley Snipes character,
right.
that would have been me. To put it better, the first line of that song is, your butt is mine. Yeah. Now, I said, who's gonna sing that to whom? Because you sure ain't singing it to me. And I sure ain't singing it to you. So, right there we got a problem. It was an interesting meeting, though. Nevertheless.
Wow.
No rivalry, though.
When Michael did I'm Bad, he sent that track to Prince before he released it. And Michael wanted Prince to sing it with him. He couldn't believe that Michael had the nerve to call it I'm Bad. He was like, there's nothing badass about him. And he could not let Michael get away with it. He said not only was he not going to sing it with him, he went in the studio and re-recorded what he thought it should be and sent it back to Michael. Like, no. And by the way, this is what it should be. And, that was the end of that. But that's how Prince was.
I'd have to do something where it's refused to be ignored. And I came with the Thriller, and every time I was trying to always outdo myself, and Billie Jean, they said we won't play it. So Walter Yetnikoff, who was president of Sony at the time, he said, okay, we're pulling Streisand, we're pulling we're pulling Chicago. And when they played it, it set the all-time record. And they were asking for everything we had. They said we're pulling Streisand, we're pulling Chicago, we're pulling Neil Diamond. That's what Walter Yetnikoff said. And after they played it, they were knocking our door down because it brought in. Then Prince came. It opened the door for Prince and all the other black artists.
Michael had Thriller.
Yeah.
Prince had Purple Rain, and he had the movie on top of that. So he was a movie star and Purple Rain. The sales were up there with Thriller, and I guess the two of them had a rivalry.
They did, but I think they kind of squashed it. I remember Prince told me that he went and met with Michael at some point, and I guess they talked about some stuff.
Yeah, there's a funny story about Prince. Will you share that?
Well, you know, Michael just was a funny man, you know, and he loved to laugh. He had the greatest laugh. I shall miss that as much as, you know, so many other parts of Michael. I mean, he would bellow. He would laugh so hard he would fall on the ground and beat the ground, you know. And one day I was being very serious with him, and he was saying that he had been channeling, and therefore he didn't sleep, and he was working on songs, and his higher power was working through him and giving him ideas. And I was like, can't you talk to your higher power, please, and just ask if he could shelf these ideas until we open in London, and then we'll make sure that you have a recording studio at the gig and one at the house, and you can work on the record from that point on. And he was like, I can't do that. And I was like, why? And he was like, he'll give the ideas to Prince.
I love that. I love that. He said, God's speaking to me, and if I don't do it, he's going to give the ideas.
Give them to someone else.
He's going to give them to Prince.
He admired Prince, by the way. Loved his music. Purple Rain, he used to talk about that song, and yeah.
You know who else is living in Toronto now? Prince. Prince decided to move from Minneapolis to Toronto.
The singer?
Yeah, Prince the singer.
You're kidding.
And he and his wife, in fact, Jimmy Jam told me that they're living there now.
Hypothetically, who would win in a fist fight, you or Michael Jackson? Both roughly, the same size. You have both have the high-pitched sound. What do your right hooks like? Oh my goodness, he's a plant, y'all. But I plant him. Yeah, keep it light, keep it light. How about this? Michael's not a fighter; he's a lover. Can I just say something? I've never really spoke publicly about Michael. We should all just kind of chill, because it's, he may know something none of us really know. And just let's wait and see. Let's wait it out. Let's just wait it out. You never know, right? You just never know. Ultimately, we all got to come back home. So let's just make a home for everybody. No, but I should right hook him when he gets here, right? Well, all right. Yeah, thank you for being.
Of course, you know the story of the Bad song, the song Bad by Michael.
Yeah.
How Prince and Michael would have worked together on that song. Yeah. So Quincy, y'all know the story, right? So Quincy,
tell the story.
Yeah. So Quincy had convinced Michael that, if you
Quincy
and
Jones,
Q, if you and Prince are ever going to work together, this is the moment. This Bad song is the moment for y'all to come together. So, long story, very short, because it is very funny, but it's too long. But they convene. Quincy invites Prince and Michael over to Quincy's house for dinner one night.
This is funny.
It's a funny story. He invites over to dinner for a night, and so the phone rings about 5 minutes before they're supposed to meet, and he says, "Hi, Q, is Prince there yet?" Quincy said, "No, Prince isn't here yet." He said, "Okay." He hangs up. 5 minutes later, the phone rings. It's Prince. "Hey, Q, is Michael there yet?" "No, he's not here yet." Okay, click. This goes on, I kid you not, for 20 minutes. Prince and Michael are calling back and forth. Nobody wants to be the first one to get inside the house. I ain't waiting on you. You ain't waiting on me. So you got this thing going on, right? So finally, Quincy says, "Michael, come on, man. Stop this." Because he knows Michael. They've been together. He doesn't really know Prince the way he knows Michael. But just come on, man. So Michael shows up. 2 seconds later, the doorbell rings. Prince walks in. They sit down and talk, about to have dinner. And Prince says, "I have a question I want to ask about the lyrics." And Quincy said, "Sure." He said, whose line is this right here?" Quincy said, "Which line are you talking about?" He said, this one right here. Whose line is this right here?" And Quincy says, "Oh, that's Michael's line." And the line was, "Your bud is mine." And Prince was like, "Okay, thank you for inviting me over. It was great to see you guys. I'll talk to you later." And dipped. He was like, "No, my butt is mine." And ain't no way I'm doing a video with you where I'm going to utter the line that
"Your butt is mine."
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow you to say that.
You're not going to say that. Yeah.
Hilarious.
You're not going to say that to me.
Gosh, yeah.
So the collaboration that would have been never happened because Prince was not going to let Michael say that to him. And, of course, the night they did the We Are the World thing, that almost happened. Prince, as you know, was not in the room that night when all those other stars were there for We Are the World. So they never really collaborated together. Fast forward, though, years later, 7 years ago when Michael dies, Prince was in rehearsal for headlining the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. When the news comes that Michael has died, he immediately canceled rehearsal, sent all of his band members home, and locked himself in his bedroom for days and wouldn't come out. When he finally emerges, they do a couple more rehearsals. He calls me to say, what you doing this summer? We talk. He's, I'm headlining Montreux. You want to come? I said, sure. I pack up my bags. I go to Montreux. I go to Switzerland with Prince. He kills the show in Montreux. And about 1:30 in the morning, we stopped by a little after party. We stayed there for about a half hour or so. About 2 o'clock in the morning, we're back to his hotel. He's staying in the presidential suite. Of course, where else would Prince stay? Presidential suite, top floor of this hotel, which sway that has French doors, I'll never forget it, that open out to the rooftop of the hotel. We walk out there about 2-something in the morning, and we sat on the rooftop of that hotel looking at the Swiss Alps until the sun came up, and all Prince talked about for hours was Michael Jackson. Wow. And it was so surreal because in this moment where these two guys had been so linked in history, back in the day, either you with Prince or you with Michael. Exactly. But to sit there and just, I didn't say, I don't know if I said 10 words that night, but Prince just had to get it out of his system. And he sat and he talked and he talked. And in that moment, again, it was so surreal to hear him talking for hours about his respect for Michael's genius, for Michael's gift, for Michael's showmanship. And I will never forget as long as I live, just sitting there and just listening. And it was just like one of those moments where I said, you know what, I want to hold on to this. I want to hold on to this. And I just sat and just took it all in. But to hear him express his appreciation for what Michael meant. And again, I think when you've been linked that way with somebody musically and historically, you start to think about your own mortality.
I remember one night me and Michael went to see Prince in Vegas. That was crazy. I couldn't believe this shit. I was with the King going to see the Prince. That was some crazy shit. I'm serious. I'm with Michael. We sitting there, and everything was cool, but Prince didn't say, that Michael was there. So I was concerned. I said, Michael, he didn't even say you here. I was trying to start something. Michael, Chris, stop it, Chris. He probably just don't want to bring any attention on me. That's all. I said, well, he should say something. Chris, stop it. You shut up and listen to the show. Hey, Michael, don't tell me to shut up. I don't care about no king of pop. I'll pop your ass in the mouth. Chris, I didn't mean it like that. Just be quiet. Prince was there. Prince got a little attitude. I think he saw Michael, and he was like, he didn't say nothing. He just was looking like. Like, what the hell are you doing here? He looked like, what the hell are you doing here? All of a sudden, Prince came over to Michael like that. He bent down. What are you doing here? Trying to steal my moves, huh? I was like, oh, there's some shit going on. Maybe something happened in the 80s I don't know about. Michael said, Chris, stop it. He did not say that. I love it. We still got Prince. And Michael, my buddy, we still got Prince. Prince is cool, but you can't talk to Prince. Like I talk to Mike, but Prince don't like to talk all the time. I try to talk to him. He called his security guard on me. I said, hey, Prince, how you doing? He said, I want to talk. I want to talk. I said, man, I'm just trying to say hello. I don't give a damn. I don't want to talk. Shit. I'm Prince, goddammit. I ain't trying to talk.
Brought Michael Jackson and Prince together. Yes. You brought Michael Jackson and Prince together.
Yeah, so one time we had a show in Vegas, and Michael Jackson called. Hey, what's Michael? Okay, Mike. Yeah, so I heard you guys are doing a show tonight. Yeah, we going at 9 o'clock. Oh, rats, I gotta put the kids to sleep. So I was like, well, I'm performing with Prince later on at 12. So anyways, Michael came to see me rock with Prince. And it was a magnificent night to see. It was me, Chris Tucker, and then watching me, Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, watching Prince rock on stage. So to make a long story short, Prince steps off the stage and plays the bass in Michael Jackson's face. Rips the freaking bass in 10 different pieces. Make a longer story shorter, Michael Jackson leaves and goes home and says, meet me in the house for breakfast. So I go to his house for breakfast, knock on the door. First words he says, why was Prince playing the bass in my face?
What was your answer? That though? Because he's funky?
Like, no, Prince, he's just being nice, you know. No, Prince, he's always been a meanie. But bless their hearts, they were so passionate.
Michael?
Of course. Thank you for asking me that.
You got to tell me about
that. I met, it was Prince and I and Sheila E. And Michael was playing in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Michael invited Prince to come to the show. But, of course, Prince invited me and Sheila E. And we were wearing those coats, the one that says woman. Remember that orange coat I wore? And then Sheila wore the one called Sheila E. And then Prince had on a black one.
Yep.
Okay, so we get to the concert. We're at the, we go through the back. And before Michael went on stage. So I have on these Ray-Ban glasses. And Prince knows I have a bad habit of staring at celebrities like in awe, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So Prince told me, don't stare. So he gave me a pair of Ray-Bans. I put them on. We go backstage before Michael goes on stage, and Michael was so tall. I couldn't believe it. He was very tall, and he wore this, you know those boxing belts for boxing champions when they win the belt? Mm-hmm. He wore that belt. So this big belt is on him. He's backstage before he went on stage. We get back there. All these cameras are back there. And then it's me, Prince, and Sheila. And then Michael goes, hi, Sheila. I haven't seen you since We Are the World, you know? And then Prince goes, this is Cat. So I extended my hand and shook his hand, trying not to, like, freak out. And so Michael Jackson's crew pulled out a camera, a big news camera. And Prince goes, no, film me. I told you. No, film me. So the cameraman pulled down a camera, stopped filming. We're all talking and stuff, and I'm just standing there like a lollipop, frozen. So then Prince and Michael are talking, and then I think Prince said something like after party at Paisley Park. So Prince and I and Sheila go out there right before the show started. We watched Michael for about 15 minutes, and then we left. And then we go back to Paisley Park. After the show, Michael comes, and Prince told us we had to leave because him and Michael were going to, spend some private time together at Prince's house. But I do remember this. And I told Prince he was mean for that. So when Michael, I think it was Michael King Child concert, or we were at his concert, me and Prince wore our mirror, those mirror hearts? Mm-hmm. The hearts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Prince purposely, I kid you not, he purposely caught a light. The lights that's on stage. He took the mirror heart and made sure the light hit the mirror heart and reflected in Michael Jackson's face.
It's a mess.
He literally did. He literally did. Prince said, watch this. And he took the mirror heart, and one of the lights hit the stage to flash Michael in the eyes. Yeah, he did that. Yeah.
Wow.
That was kind of mean. It was so mean. He really did. Tell me, watch this. Oh, this is another thing. So when we came in, we're all wearing these cashmere coats. Prince had on his and said Prince. I had on mine and said woman. Sheila had on hers and said Sheila. So Michael said, I really like those coats. Where did you get them from? And Prince said, do you want me to make you one and put 1986 on it? Because that was the last time you had a hit with the Wall album. Wow. Oh, remember that song? Yes, he did. I'm not kidding you. He actually did. Because Michael really loved the coats. He was so sincere.
Why are you doing Michael like that? Why is Prince doing Michael like that?
Oh, Prince. Well, because they were kind of friends, but like competing with each other. But Michael was gangster. Michael was cool as hell. But when Michael said he liked those coats, and Prince said, would you like one? And Michael said, yes. And Prince said, whatever year The Wall came out. What year was that? Remember The Wall? The year Michael Jackson's The Wall came out.
You Off the Wall?
Off the Wall, yeah.
Oh, that was
What year?
79?
Okay, well, Prince said, yeah, I'll get you one with that year on the back.
Stop it.
He said, Prince said it just like this. What year do you want? The year the wall came out. That was crazy. Yes, he did.
That's crazy.
Because at the time, all of our coats said 1988 on the back. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll never forget that. I thought, oh, you're so mean. He literally said that to Michael. But then at the end of the night, Michael came to Paisley Park, and then him and Prince ended up going to his house, and they had a really good chat. People thought they were really enemies, but they were really good friends. They really were. I hate when they, say that Michael and Prince were enemies. No, they weren't.
See, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
Somebody
they were.
that was there can say that,
Yeah, they weren't. I wish people would stop saying that. They were really good friends. They had mutual respect for each other.